Anybody know the successful life of Sean Corey Carter, or know who he is? No, but I bet you all have heard of him before. I'll be telling you about the interesting life of Sean Corey Carter, from his background to his music, which made him, and finally his life as being a successful entrepreneur. He's a real definition of rags to riches, and he didn't get there without any hard work, and that's why his life is so interesting to me, and now to inform you about. Just a little background information: he was born December 4th, 1969, in Brooklyn, New York, and he was raised in the Marcy Projects. And the Marcy Projects was classified as one of the most dangerous places in America when he was a child. His father abandoned him at 12, which just left his mother to raise him. And during his childhood, he was a part-time rapper, but a full-time hustler. You don't know what a hustler is? A hustler is someone who has an unethical way of obtaining money or doing business, also known as a go-getter, and that was his job. He went to high school in Brooklyn, New York, and then he transferred over to Trenton, New Jersey, but he did not graduate high school. In his neighborhood, Carter was known as Jazzy, and that was his nickname that he eventually got his stage name of Jay-Z. He began freestyling, writing rhymes, and following many music of popular artists at the time, and that's where his music career took off. His music career is so unique, and his ability to freestyle is so unique as well, which he was able to create a whole track without writing any of it down on paper. So you could walk into the studio, come to the mic, record, leave, business. Now, it would take forever for me to go through his whole entire music career, so I'm going to go some of his biggest albums, major highlights, and his achievements. He has a total of 11 studio albums and 4 collaboration albums. In 1996, his first album, Reason of Doubt, was released, and that is number 248 out of 500 albums of the greatest time with the Rolling Stones, and it's also platinum. In 1998, Hard Knock Life Volume 2 was released, and that was the most commercially successful album for him, and it was 5 times platinum. In 2001, The Blueprint was released, and it was classified today as one of hip-hop's classic albums. It went 3 times platinum in the US, went number 1 in the Billboard 200, and the spectacular things about that was it was only written in 2 days. In 2003, he toured with 50 Cent, Busta Rhymes, and Sean Paul, while finishing supposed to be his last album, The Black Album. That sold 3 million copies, 3 times platinum, and hit popular songs like that, like 99 Problems, Dirt Off Your Shoulder. And moving from there, he released an album every year from 1996 to 2003, and after that Black Album, he was supposed to retire. Then he hooked up with Linkin Park, and they did Collision Course, which was a 6-track EP, and had one of those songs win a Grammy, which was the Numb Encore remix. In 2007, he released his next solo album that is myself called American Gangster, and it was inspired by the movie, which I'm sure we all know about, right? Okay, and it was about the movie, and it related back to his life as a hustler back in his childhood. And his most previous album, just released last month, September 8th, is The Blueprint 3. It was the number 1 as well in the US on Billboard, and that makes his 11th album number 1, which he just beat Elvis Presley for that record. And after 4 weeks of sales on Blueprint 3, it went platinum. So fully, he has 20 albums out, 11 he did solo, 11 of 20 that went platinum, and has 7 Grammy Awards. Now his life and his success as an entrepreneur. And this is what makes me say, wow, because we all know about his music, we don't know about his life. First off, Jay-Z is married to Beyonce Knowles since April 22nd, 2003, and he gave her a $5 million Williams Schwartz designed wedding ring. As of 2007, Jay-Z is worth an estimated $940 million, and he's the richest hip-hop artist in the world. He pockets around only like $40 million a year, so I'll just keep it real. As of 2007, he pocketed $340 million, and now this is a yearly breakdown for him and what he does. He's the founder of clothing line Rockaware, which gets him about $160 million, give or take. He then sold it for $204 million, but he retains a stake in the company. He owns the 40/40 clubs, which have clubs in Las Vegas, New York, and Atlantic City, and they're expanding to LA and Singapore. He co-owns the New Jersey Nets, the basketball team, and usually gets 4.5 from them a year. He's a former CEO of Def Jam Recordings. He made $3 million from business with them, $9 million in endorsement deals, and then he still makes $10 million annually from publishing rights. He's one of the 3 founders of Rockefeller Records, which made total $50 to $100 million a year. He's the co-brand director for Budweiser Select, kind of side job. His company, Rockefeller, distributes Armadale, which is a Scottish vodka, and he makes $30 $30 million annually from that. He invested in a real estate development called J Hotels that recently acquired a $66 million mid-block parcel in Chelsea, New York, kind of close to where he used to live. And all this is his business, but he does not just sit back and collect. He goes out, he does his job, he doesn't just sell them off when he has to do business. And now he's the number 11 on the most inspiring men in 2009, and the number 1 on Hip Hop Cash Kings, which is done by Forbes.com. I don't know about you guys, but to me, this guy's kind of inspiring. Not just from his music, which I really enjoy, but to where he came from nothing to having everything he ever dreamed. He never gave up on what he loved to do. For that, God blessed him with his dream. This man tells me that anything can happen if you stick with your dream.